don't worry if you haven't placed your picture up on the altar yet. There'll be time later in the service to do that. Our opening words today are entitled When Your Best Friend Has 4 or So Legs by Reverend Teresa Soto from her book, Spilling the Light. What it means to have a pet is to love someone who speaks a language you do not. A dog will bow and prance, a cat will purr and dog with soft ears, and considered herself the pup's guardian. A gentle way to think of protecting and caring for a friend, such a small gesture of respect for a source of boundless love. The dog's long pink tongue lolling in a goofy grin, the cat convinced that kneading and grooming are crucial to his day. A bird asking for a treat, bending a wing to wave. These are friends. They are loves. It's kind of a surprise that you should love someone so much who would eat the butter on the table if they could get away with it, and gets endless hair on the sofa when they aren't even supposed to be on the furniture. When they are called companion animals, it's such an open, tender truth. The endless cuddles and tricks and loyalty, the comfort of fingers to fur and big, adoring eyes. These are friends. These are loves. They stretch our hearts and fill them with their abundance of kindness. When they are gone, our hearts remain larger, though their absence leaves room for expanses of grief. Their love champions and companions us still.
Morning. I want to invite you to stand in body or spirit, and even people on Zoom, I want you to sing with us. We're going to enter, rejoice, and come in, which I've been watching you all do this morning. So let's sing about it now. You could even clap, possibly. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your heart. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Let me take a seat.
My name is Pat Kailey. I'll be one of your worship leaders today. Today's service is all ages, which means we get to have our children and youth stay with us for the whole service today, and it was made with them in mind. Today is a celebration for our love of animals, the love they give us, and the lessons they teach. Later in the service, there'll be an opportunity to place a picture of an animal you want to honor on our altar, for those of you that haven't done so already. And that's what the table's for there. And if you're like me, this service might be a hard one to get through. I once ugly cried, and I mean ugly cried, at a preview for A Dog's Life in a theater. Why? Because of dogs? I don't know, there's just something about this topic that cuts through us. So when my voice cracks today, as it did a little bit when I was reading the opening words, I know that's okay, because we are at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Central Oregon, UUFCO. Whether you are weeping or wiggling or giggling, you are welcome here. No matter who you love or what you look like, you are welcome here. Even if you aren't here and you're on Zoom, you are welcome in the space we create. Whether your favorite animal stalks your living room or a distant forest, you are welcome here. And maybe you don't have a pet and you aren't even an animal lover. That's all right too. We are all unique and love both differently and similarly. We invite you to let this time be a celebration of all the beings, human or otherwise, that have lightened your heart or helped you through a hard time or have taught you to love a little less conditionally. Let's think a little less and feel and love a little more today, as animals so often invite us to do. Now we'll do our chalice lighting.
Our chalice lighting words are from Reverend Florence Kaplow. We light this chalice in honor of the animal realm, furred and hoofed, two-legged, four-legged, many-legged, fanged and clawed, gentle and fierce, wild and tame. May we remember that all animals are our relatives, worthy of care and respect. Please stand in body or spirit for a spirit of life.
All the stirrings of compassion, blow in the wind, rising the sea, the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close. Wings set me free. Of life, come to me, come to me.
Good morning. I'm Chayla Sloper, the Congregational Life Facilitator, and I have today's announcements. And you might want to know why we have announcements when everything mostly is in your skyline. And that's because people learn differently and they connect with information differently. And it's also fun to come up here and say hello. So, hello, good morning, and good morning to those on Zoom. We're always happy to know that there are folks with us, even though we can't see you. So, warm welcome. If this is your first time either here in the sanctuary or on Zoom, let us know that you were here. On Zoom, we have a virtual visitor form that it'll be dropped into the chat, and you can sign up for our communications, our weekly email called the All Congregation email. It's called an ACE. And if you are here, you can also do the same. You can sign up at the Connections corner, which is right outside the big doors. You can sign up for a name tag there. You can sign up, this is like the most exciting thing. We have 2 signups for the Sunday suppers. They begin next Sunday, and this is an idea that just arose from the love of some of our members who want to get together with other folks in the congregation just for a simple meal. So that's going to be the 3rd Sunday of the month, so that's next week on the 19th at 5 o'clock, $5 unless you're 9 and younger, and then you come for free. So that's like a really good price, but we would like to know how many are in your party. If you think you'd like to be on the team for future weeks or even to help with this next week, provide your email address, but otherwise, just your name and the number in your party. So we do have a bunch of signups out there as well. There are typically ways to sign up online for things, but we have a bunch of signups, physical signups at the kiosk. And yeah, it occurs to me that if folks are on Zoom and you hear something that you're interested in signing up and can't figure out how to do it, like from the ACE or whatever, send me an email, Chela, CHELA, @uufco.org. Okay, so some of the things coming up today. Our youth group, I hear, is going to be doing coffee add-ons, and where? At the pass-through in the kitchen. Okay, so upgrades and add-ons mean like things to add to your coffee, flavors or fun doodads. So that's today. So what's that? Fancy creamer and whipped cream. So this is part of their ongoing Ripple project. Remember when Reverend Scott gave us all $5 and said, here, make a ripple for good. And so they are continuing to build the capital of their initial $5 connected together. And so that's today. So that'll support our youth, and it'll support a greater community collection offering sometime in the future that they will decide. Okay, just to highlight a few things happening this week. Wednesday night, the XYZ group, so like Gen X, Gen Y, you know who you are, Reverend Scott invites you to a theology laboratory. So those of us who are gray hairs, no dark wigs, don't try to sneak in. But that'll be at the Commons Tap Room, and the address is in the Skyline. Also Friday, Marty Rudolph had offered an auction item, $20 per person, to learn line dancing. So that's this Friday night. You can just walk in, you don't need to RSVP, but that should be fun. On Saturday, women, there are still spaces for a personal safety workshop with a female deputy from Deschutes County. And I do also want to mention the Healthy Aging for All Ages. This is something that Tony Collette has arranged, and that'll be on Saturday, February 25th. So there's also a sign up for that, but the sign up wasn't out last week, so I got in trouble. And but we want to make sure that you know about it and can. It was good trouble. Lastly, I want to say I'm just going to jump the gun. These are pictures of my birds. Igor and Betty, and I had to put them up for adoption when I moved to Bend, but they are still in my heart. I love them very much. So I'm going to drop them over there. I'm going to welcome Marty Rudolph, who has some fun things to say about why we give money to the church. So blessings on your day.
Well, I have to admit, I tried to get my dog Muggsy to help me with this, but it wasn't working. I have claimed to be a Unitarian Universalist for 50 years. But for the first 40, I was what you'd call a Sunday UU. That meant you go to church, you drop $5 in the collection plate, and you go home. That changed a little bit when I came here, but not immediately. I went to the Stone Church. I listened. I heard the service. I dropped $5 in the plate. But I became a real observer. And I was observing a congregation designing, planning, building this incredible new home. I was watching them go through the process of finding a new minister, of creating a mission, of beginning social justice work. So, as a result, I became kind of a UU evangelist. Whether it was the incredible building or the incredible minister or this inclusive faith, the spirit, I was proselytizing. I was bragging. I got so bad that during physical therapy, I would recite the covenant while I was lying on the table until one day my physical therapist looked at me and started calling me Reverend Rudolph. I told them there was a real Reverend Rudolph, and I got the message. That's when it dawned on me that I hadn't done anything to contribute to what I was bragging about, to this fellowship. And so, reluctantly, I became a member. And I say that reluctantly because I'm not a joiner. I don't have Safeway Club cards. I don't have any of that. And being a member was a serious commitment for me. I made that first pledge. And that first pledge was really more out of guilt than anything else. But then I started to kind of actively take responsibility for this I called my new home. You know, I'd gone from the mentality of sort of a renter to the mentality of an owner. You know what it's like when you buy your first home. You really get into it. This was my church now. This was my minister. This was my fellowship. So I put my membership into action. First, of course, I started making coffee. Then I ushered. Then I joined the art committee, then the membership team, then the leadership development team, then the board, and I was actually president. Good grief. Then the endowment, the aesthetics committee, the choir. Now, I didn't do all of this in 1 year, but what all these different teams gave me were two things. One, an opportunity to become really intimate with a lot more people. When you work with people, you get to know them a lot more than when you just have coffee. The other thing I learned was what it took to not only sustain this fellowship, but for it to thrive. And it was the word collective. It wasn't just me. It was the collective intent of this fellowship, the collective hard work that they did, and it was the collective pledge. Those three things really could accomplish anything that this fellowship wanted to do or be. So when this year's pledge season opened up, with love as the February theme, I decided to dedicate my pledge not to what I give, but to what I have received from this fellowship. I am a better Unitarian. I have learned how to practice covenant, not just recite it. I've learned about the history, the people, the challenges of the faith. I went deeper. I was inspired and soaked up Scott's sermons, the music, the celebrations, the social justice work, not so much the cheatgrass. And how do you put a dollar amount on the deep friendships? The people who claim to love you with all your faults. The Leslies, the Lauras, the Heathers, the Lizes, the Judy who showed up when I smashed my head on the floor, the Susan who spent a month with me at doctors and surgeries, sweet baby James Simpson who would drive to my house during COVID and give me a much needed hug. And then well, I'm not even going to go on. I mean, I won't talk about Marilyn and how they helped me, bring rock to my labyrinth, and Carolyn, who really delivered rock to my labyrinth. The choir, the beloved choir. That's my beloved community. When you're with people every Wednesday night, you really get to know them. And I am not a singer. So to be surrounded by 4 or 5 tenors that really know what they're doing and help me find that note is the best gift I could have ever had. So the thing is, I don't have a lot of money. I'm not wealthy, but I have enough. And this year, maybe a little less like some of us. So I took a really good look at how I spend my money. I spend over $1,200 a year on like TV things like Netflix, Hulu, BritBox, Acorn, just goes on. And the thing about that is I barely watch that. And the most embarrassing thing is I spend almost that much on puzzles. Well, during COVID, I became a puzzle addict, and I just realized I spent $1,100 on puzzles this year. So I didn't really need more money to give more. I just needed to reallocate some of it to a higher use. Money that would make a difference and reflect my values. So I'm asking you to think about it. You don't really need to have more to give a little more, but you may just need to reallocate some of what may not be serving you to something that will. Thank you. And if you're looking for a puzzle, call me.
Good morning. I'm Amy Brock, and I'm the Director of Religious Exploration for Children and Youth. And this morning, we invite those that are young or young at heart to come and join me up here in this space on the rug, and we are going to explore love together today. And today, the way that we're exploring love is about thinking about our animal friends. So while you're coming, or while you're waiting for our friends to come, maybe just think about what your favorite animal is. So some of us maybe love cats or dogs, or cats and dogs, or guinea pigs, or turtles, or maybe horses. Maybe some of us don't love animals at all. But I'm wondering if anyone has ever wondered what it would be like to be an animal before. Has anybody ever wondered that? Anybody ever wondered? I've definitely wondered what it would be like to be an animal before. And so today we're going to listen to a song together, and this song is about a dog, but as you listen, I want you to think about what it would be like to be your favorite animal that maybe does some of these things that the dog does in our song, and then we're going to talk about it together.
Brings the mail, oh, I wanna be a dog. I wanna drool on the floor. Get pats on the head, chase cats, get fed to your shoes. And bark at the door, oh, I wanna be a dog.
A whale? A blue whale? What'd you be? A raven? A mouse? Oh my goodness. So many animals. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love all of our animal friends that are represented here. That's so awesome. Well, think about this for a second. What do you think the hardest part about being an animal is? What is the hardest part about being an animal? Think for a second and then tell a friend next to you or tell me if you're up here. What is the hardest part about being an animal? Somebody said getting in trouble, eating food. Yeah, not understanding what's going on or not being able to stand up. Yeah. If you live in the water, coming up for air would be really hard. watching out for cats, especially if you might get eaten by one. Yeah? There's a lot of hard things about being an animal. What do you think would be the easiest thing about being an animal? Tell your friend if you're out there, or tell me if you're up here. What would be the easiest thing about being an animal? Being loved. Swimming. Probably eating snacks. Yeah, maybe you like the snacks, maybe you don't. I don't know. Yeah. Well, there are probably hard things and easy things about being an animal. I have a dog. Her name is Georgia, and she is part beagle, and so that means that she likes to explore the world in a little bit of a different way than I do. So Georgia explores with her nose, and that means that when we go on walks, she likes to take a step and then take a sniff. And take a step and take a sniff and take a step and take a sniff. And you can imagine that it takes us a long time sometimes to get where we're going, which can be frustrating for me. But it's not for her. She is excited to just explore every single sniff and every single scent that she comes to along the way. And so walking with Georgia reminds me that sometimes where we're going isn't the point. It's more about enjoying right where we're at right now and doing those things. And the animals in our lives have so much to teach us if we take time to listen and to learn from them. And that's what we're doing today, exploring that together in this space. And you know who else has a lot to teach us here in our space? Our young people have a lot to teach us in a different way than our animals do. And we have so many young people that have been coming to connect with us each week, and we need a lot more help in our RE space. So last week we talked about how outside of RE we have a table where you can sign up to let me know that you would like to come and help us one week with our RE friends. And we have that again today, and I'll be there. So if you'd like to come join us in our RE space, we'd love to have you one week. It's so much fun. Come and see us after the service there. And so we're going to end our time together here today, but we're going to stay in this space and we're going to keep exploring animals together. But I need some help saying our children's covenant, and then we're going to all go back to our seats together. Are you ready? Let's go. In this place, I am kind. In this place, I am loving. In this place, I am a friend to the earth and all animals and people. In this place, I am loved. And we love you. We're so glad that you're here with us today.
As you stay, let's stand together in body or spirit. As you stay, may joy surround you. As you stay, stay in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you stay, as you stay. As you stay, may joy surround you. As you stay, stay in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you stay, as you stay.
So now is the time. You'll have an opportunity to support the good work of this fellowship. If today is your first time here, no pressure. Feel free to pass the basket. For the rest of us, it's February. We're doing Stewart's Drive. Maybe a little bit of pressure. I'm just kidding. But regardless of what you choose to do, relax and enjoy an old classic that'll be on the screen shortly.
among the other people who are also trying to do the same, like for
Okay. My name is Noreen Halberstadt. Ours is a welcoming community where we find connection, a spiritual community where we find meaning. Ours is a sharing community where our joys are amplified, a caring community where our sorrows are lessened. I will now read the written joys and sorrows that were submitted. You can find these forms out on the kiosk in the gathering hall. If you'd like to light a candle for a joy or sorrow at this time, feel free to, and also you can bring your picture up if you already haven't. Grace Kennedy, Art thanks all who came to our artist reception on Friday. It was a lovely evening. From Liz Doherty, the people of Ukraine, Turkey, and Syria are in our hearts today and always. Terry and Dirk, a joy, gratitude for the love our sweet greyhound Luna brought to our lives. Unconditional, joyful love. We hold these joys and sorrows up and wrap love and intention around them all. So be it, and so it is. Now we will read our responsive reading, which is the animal blessing, which I wrote. I'll read the fine and you can read the bold. To the finned, the feathered, the furry and weathered, we give our blessings. To the scaled, for the kisses, the purring and hisses. To the jumpers and thumpers, chasers and bumpers. To the hooved, the markers, the silly and the barkers. For the hurt and the healing, the happy and the squealing. For those who give service, the brave and the nervous. To the green and mellow, black and yellow, to the red, white, and blue, and yes, even you. We give you our blessings. We bless them all, giant, big, medium, and small. We thank you all. Dawn's song is going to speak a few words about her love with her animals.
I'd like to know how many of you have never had a pet. You raise your hand? Oh, well, I don't need to say anything, man. Well, when Noreen asked me to share something, I thought, oh, yeah. And I worked up like a 20-minute. I wanted you to meet every single one of my pets. And then you would understand why I have this big, long list of things I've learned from them. But no time for that. So I've had 6 dogs and 7 cats in my life. I grew up with just 1 dog. So what did I learn from all these pets? And I'm still learning. From my first pet, I'm never alone. Even when I'm not with them, they are with me. And it's kind of like having kids in some way, too. But I'm never alone when I have a pet. The second thing I learned from that same pet was the initial loss of a pet hurts a lot. And I cried all day. And then I learned a dog I had to rehome, to be discerning about what I bring into my home and into my life. And some dogs are just not right for me. And from my cats, some of them, I learned living in the country can be fatal. Watch out for coyotes. And from another cat who was hit before I got her, iron fell on her, that longevity does not equal intelligence or wisdom. From my last dog, my sweetheart, dementia can really be funny at times, at least to the observer. And it could be sad, it could be frustrating, but it can also be really funny. I mean, she goes in the corner of a door and stands there at the hinges, waiting for the door to be open. My dog, my previous dog, made my disability visible and increased my social contacts and comfort. Love so deep and so profound, so unselfish, so joyful, and complete devotion. It's always there. Tell your beloveds how much you love them every day. Acceptance of the way things are. Equanimity. It's good to go for walks and play every day, a lot, especially in nature. Be curious. Embrace the new. Savor the known. Trust. Be patient. Resting is very important too, especially as we grow older. She sleeps most of the day. Treat yourself. You are worthy of it. You are perfect just the way you are. Well, you could feed me sooner and more and faster. Nothing you do is beyond my capacity to forgive. Everything dies. Multiple deaths do help to grieve less sometimes. There is life after death, my life after their death. Lastly, how you live is how you die. So love unconditionally, live to the very fullest, accept what is, dance and sing with joy.
I'm going to read Kim Gunderson's response to the same questions. She can't be with us today. January 18th, 2018, my husband of 30 years, Paul, died in our home in his favorite recliner as we looked out the sliding door on a new day. Heavy sigh. 2 weeks prior, we lovingly said goodbye to our 15-year-old dog, Mocha. Needless to say, this was a dark time for my boys and me. But as we all know, if our hearts are open to love offers up so many opportunities to give and receive. In February of 2018, 1 month after ALS took Paul, the sweetest puppy picked me. Gazing up at me with one blue and one brown eye, she completely pulled at my hurting heart and literally saved my life. Kalisa, a quiet husky lab, gave me a reason to wake up each day, and step by step, she helped me sit with my grief and move, and in spite of my grief. 5 years later, she is still getting me out for walks and runs. She curls up next to me and drapes herself over my lap for all of those love pats and scratches. I even let her sleep on my bed after saying that I never would allow it.
And I'm going to read some words from Jonathan Beal, who's our event manager here at UUFCO. Here are words from Jonathan. If you haven't met her already, my dog is Chuleta. That's Chuleta, and that means pork chop in Spanish. I met Chuleta on November 30th, 2018, at a baseball diamond in Pescadero, a small fishing village in southern Baja. Chuleta was not doing well. She was suffering from severe malnutrition. She had ringworm, worms, mange, and as I later found out, a urinary tract infection. But despite all those ills, Chuleta still had the most precious eyes, and I knew I had to take her. Since that fateful day, we have spent almost every day together. With a little food and some medicine, Chuleta recovered quickly. I cannot say enough about this dog. She is smart, caring, thoughtful, loyal, and has incredible physical abilities. I love that she greets every day with anticipation for whatever adventure we have planned. She knows when I'm not feeling well and knows when it's time to play. She has led me out of the woods cross-country skiing in a complete whiteout and warns me when someone else is approaching on the trail. She helps me forget the stress of the modern world and reminds me that being outside is the best cure for almost any ailment. Chuleta is simply the greatest dog, and I don't know what I would do without her.
So this is my dog, Duger, and is no longer with us, but I will put it right here. You've got a friend in me. Yep, you've got a friend in me. Though the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, You just remember what your old pal said, that you've got a friend in me. Oh yeah, you've got a friend in me. If you know it, will you sing along with me? You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. Yep, you've got a friend in me. Though the road looks rough ahead and you're miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old pal said, that you've got a friend in me. Yes, you do. You've got a friend in me all the time. You've got a friend in me.
Thank you, Randy. We know there's lots of love and stories and some sorrow in the room about our beloved animals, past and present. We want to give you all the time to share with one another. And if you need a prompt, you can consider these questions as you're sharing with a neighbor. How has the love for or from an animal enriched your life or got you through a difficult time? What lessons have they taught you about love and life? And maybe just choose one of those, because we're going to give you about 5 minutes to share. Use this time to talk with your neighbor. You'll know we are transitioning back and to wrap up your conversation when you see a canine-themed video come back on the screen.
Please rise in body or spirit and sing with us our closing song.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me.
Now please join me in saying the covenant. There we go. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Blessed Are the Living Things by Maureen Killoran. For the blessing of animal companions we give thanks. For the beautiful ones whose fur is silky and whose tails are long, whose feathers are brilliant or whose voices are splendid, we give thanks. For the frantic ones, the runts and the hungry, who run for a food bowl or a pat as though this life's last possible gift, we give thanks. For the obnoxious ones, the heads that butt against us as we're trying to sleep, the bodies that refuse to learn discretion as they make digestive gifts, we give thanks. For those who bark and purr and growl and meow, for all who squeak or squawk or snarl or hiss, we give thanks. For the animals unknown to us, whose niche in life's web is fragile, whose lives are insecure, for all who care for them and wish them well, we give thanks. Blessed are the animals, blessed are the creatures who live with us and need our care. Blessed are the mammals and the reptiles and the birds who teach us we are not alone. Blessed are the living things from whom we learn to love.